All right, everybody, hello and welcome. Thank you for staying tuned. For those of you who joined during the long introduction period, I am back. There we go. All right, excellent. So, we have a few sets for you guys today. As always, some good stuff. We've got Bender GC versus Nope, also known as Bender and Chill. So these two are going to play on Paradise Islands and Moats. The way that the map draft works is they pick the map of the round first, and then they take turns discarding maps until only one remains, and then they have to play on the one remaining one. So these two have got Paradise Islands moats, and then the second set that we're going to see is Lamarcus Lawliet, a.k.a. Leonovu, versus Yosoi Pacho. So they're going to play on seasons and graveyards. Their map draft decided in the same way. Let's go over these players. So our first set that we're going to look at, Nope 1585, according to our average of his ranked history, adjusted for win rate and that sort of thing, upper 1300s. Nope has actually come a long way within Alchemy League. He's kind of a success story of ours, I think. Maybe, a lot of it was independent grinding on the ranked ladder as well, but he's grown in skill a lot since he first played with us back in, I think it's Season 3 he started with us. Now we're on Season 7. And Bender and Chill, this is his first season playing with us. So Nope 1585 is from India, and Bender and Chill is from Peru. And Bender is known for being a very aggressive player. So he'll put a lot of pressure on Nope, and we'll see how Nope does. Maybe Nope dies to it, or maybe Nope fends it off and then is able to achieve victory in the end. Who knows what we could see. Now, Yosoi Pacho, we're looking here at lower 1700s, but I think this is a slight underestimation of his skill. He's quite good. He may just be good at this. He may not have played a lot of ranked lately, but either way, despite him being an underdog to Leonovu, who here is upper 1800s, we can expect Yosoi Pacho to put up a very strong performance, even though he's over 100 elo behind him, according to our ranked matchmaker. Alright, so let's, then having introduced the players, so Leonovu is from Hong Kong, Yosoi Pacho from Colombia, Bender and Chill from Peru, and Nope 1585 from India. Alright, let's go and cast the first, Civilization Draft, of course. So admin bans 5 randomly initially, and then they ban 2 civilizations each, and then they pick 3, snipe 1, and then pick 1 more. So that process left Bender with Saracens, Khmer, and Mayans as his choices, and Nope is left with the option of Cumans, Koreans, and Persians. So Bender's like, well, all right, I'm going to get all the civilizations that have the best fast castle and a unique unit play. And it looks like Nope is a little bit more versatile, but he's got a few brute strength civs in here, like the Persians. Really, they all are brute strength in kind of a different way. All right, now we can go in and start the cast. So this says Game 2, but this is actually the first one that they played, Paradise Island. They have to play that, so we're gonna spectate that first. I've already gone in and checked, and this was played on a later version of the game, but that's an earlier version of the game, but that's okay because the devs fixed it. Not fixed, but they added a feature now where you can generally watch old recordings. This map, the first map, so we change the overlay. I will explain. It's Paradise Island. What is Paradise Island? Well, look at this. Oh, okay. Bender coming over here to lame. He's looking for, looks like he's looking to lame. He sees the boar. Oh, no, wait, this is Bender. Never mind. All right. Not laming. Not laming. Let's talk about the civilizations. So, Bender is Mayans. We have Mayans versus Koreans. Paradise Island, what is it? So this is a remaster of the original Paradise Islands. You have some fish around the outside, not a ton. You've got wolves guarding the shoreline. In this case, they're crocodiles. So you can't go out to dock immediately unless you're super careful. There's a little bit of a skill check to be able to get a dock up early on. There is a lagoon And then there is a sanctuary in the very center that is completely engulfed by the lagoon. And there's not a lot of gold on the map. There's like, you get 1 gold pile and 2 stone piles each. Alright, so these are Bender's resources right here. There may be an occasional... Yeah, I guess there is a neutral gold and a neutral stone over here, but they're pretty far away. So it means that the players are going to want to go for these relics as soon as possible. And there are 5 relics, and if you get them, you get a big advantage. Not only because of the gold income that they provide, but also because Alchemy League is standard victory condition. So the choice of civilizations, Mayans, pretty obvious, right? Mayans means resources last longer. So Bender's thinking probably, you know, I can get more gold out of these gold mines. I can get more stone out of this. I have a better chance of outlasting my opponent. I get a lot of cheap units. He's going to push in some deer here. And Nope. Nope is looking at this completely differently. Nope doesn't want to outlast his opponent. I think Nope wants to tower rush his opponent. Now, does Nope have Loom? He does not. He's going to have to be careful. Luckily for Nope, he gets hill advantage against this alligator, and he is able to kill it without losing his villager, but he's got to be careful, because there is another alligator right there. Check the fog of war. This alligator's on its way. Oh, Nope is in trouble. He sees it. He pulls back, and Nope fighting some alligators here. Nope loses a villager to the crocodile. Well, it's probably not worth attacking with the scout anymore. I guess he's just going to be like, I'm tired of this. I'm just going to finish off this crocodile. The crocodile gets a charge attack. As you know, now it's been modified by the devs. It's kind of fun, actually. The devs adding a little bit of character, a little bit of flavor to the wild animals. You can see the crocodile's charge attack as the second bar beneath it. And Bender has not gone water at all. Bender, he usually doesn't go water. Now, there is one other, little thing that I want to explain about this map, and that is that it turns out that this lagoon is not dockable in the center. So that's why the players start with this antiquity mode transport ship here. And this transport ship is special. We click on Nope's. They both are like this, but we can see it with Nope because we're currently at his point of view. 232 unit garrison capacity. You could fit 232 war elephants in this transport ship. The transport ship is immortal. The transport ship can be destroyed, but if it is destroyed, it respawns automatically. But all the units that were in it are killed. Alright, so it basically guarantees that you are always going to have a way to get to the sanctuary in the middle. Oh, that was close. Nope, almost lost another villager. That would have been a disaster. Alright, so we got to keep an eye on this. I suspect that this is a fast castle from Bender, but we'll see. No, it's not a fast castle. Bender's on his way up to the feudal age, 20 pop, and I think he's just opening like a straight archers type build. He's getting his barracks up now. Okay, so we check his population. Oh, Otter's not here to remind me, but if he were, he would tell me to click on these flags just to make sure that this is all, yep. So all this information is displayed, and we can click on these flags here to show the villager count. And Nope has more villagers, but that's because Nope built a dock. Nope lost a villager, but Nope also built a dock. So technically Nope is ahead in villager count. Has Nope done a good job of securing his resources? Well, he probably secure this gold okay. But he's going to have to watch out. This Bender is in the feudal age. He's building an archery range now. This is a one range archer opening. 20 pop, Mayans, resources lasting longer. You can do stuff like this. I don't know how effective it's going to be, but it could potentially be very effective because Nope hasn't really secured any of these resources at all. He's sort of walling now, but this wall is like nowhere near sufficient. Okay, so Bender's monitoring this. He's keeping an eye on it. I don't know if Bender will pick a fight with this villager to prevent this wall. That would be kind of stupid because he's literally got a transport ship right here. So he's going to see these forward berries. But really what I would do, I would, he could camp his archers right here. This would be like the ideal place. Could you imagine if Bender could get 10 archers here? in the next 5 minutes. 5 might be too much. What's this? What's this? Alright, Bender's sending some forward villagers. I'm not sure what that's all about. But like a ball of archers right here, it shuts down a wood line. Now, there are other wood options. So it's not, it's not that devastating. But what is devastating is the fact that literally all of Nope's resources are right here. The tower should be right here. But Bender has not scouted, actually, Nope's gold. If Bender scouted Nope's gold and discovered that it was right here, he'd be like, let me build a tower right here. Let me build 4 archers and build a tower. And my opponent is, like, cooked from that. It's arguable he might not even... I mean, maybe you make a defensive tower and then garrison it full of villagers and then charge down the enemy tower, and that's your only hope. And if you fail, because your opponent gets stone walls up or something, or has enough archers in your tower and you run out of stone to repair or something, you're toast. Like, this is a critical area for Nope to defend. And I'm not convinced that Nope has invested enough in defending it. He's got a market and he's got a blacksmith, so Nope is trying to fast castle. And here goes Nope with the, classic Korean, let's get on stone here and make some towers because I'm Koreans and that's what we're good at. So he's charging. I mean, it's not a lot of archers, right? This is really fast archers from Bender, which means that there aren't that many. But Bender really needs to get in on this stone. He needs to shut this stone down. Because if he can shut the stone down, he can shut down towers. Now, if he shuts down wood, he also shuts down towers. But Nope hasn't built a tower yet. I'm wondering if Nope is, like, on his way up to the... Yeah, he's on his way up to the castle edge. So Nope is just like, I gotta survive, I gotta survive. He's going to build this tower here. And there is a chance for Nope to survive. Like, if Nope gets Castle Age and he only loses, like, a couple villagers or something, he gets this tower up, he chases off Bender's archers. This is a good kill for him. This archer's almost dead. Bender building another archery range forward. This is a pretty exciting game. I'm glad that you've stuck with me. Because already, Nope trying to go fast castle here, and Bender punishing him. So this tower... I mean, Bender built his tower here, which is a little bit silly. I think Bender's tower should have been here, and he could have built it there. Because this tower was built before this tower was. So Nope is going to get up to... Look at this. I love what Bender's doing here. Bender's building his market in his enemy's town. So if his opponent ever builds a town center here, like, he's going to see it immediately. Because he's got this market. And the market is kind of annoying, too. These buildings sort of block places where Nope might want to build. Nope's resources, he can afford a town center. Where's he going to put it? If I were Nope, I would try to get that town center right here. He might not be able to. Depends on where Bender's military is right now. Oh, okay, it's harassing the dock. So Bender's going after the dock. I think that's a mistake. I think Bender needs to try to prevent these villagers from going anywhere. Because he's got to know that his opponent wants to throw down another town center. We got more villagers coming out to stone here. Actually... It looks like Nope's plan is not a town center. It is a castle. Because he's got more than enough resources, especially stone, to build a town center. He wants a castle, and he probably wants to build a castle... I don't know, actually, where he would build that castle. I guess anywhere would help him. Uh-oh. Alright, Bender fighting off this crocodile. You can see that the crocodile used his charge attack, and it's currently recharging. So it gets a good... head start on this villager. Wolves are a little bit more dangerous, I think, now. And Bender building an outpost. Oh, no. Oh, no. Don't tell me. Don't tell me, Nope. Oh, my goodness. Alright, boys and girls. Here it is. We got a castle drop. We got a castle drop. Is he going to castle drop the relics and go for a relic victory? Or is he going to castle drop his opponent and just try to kill his opponent? This isn't sudden death, Nope. Alright, Nope wants to castle drop his opponent. Now, unfortunately for Nope, his opponent is almost Castle Age. And this town center will easily research Castle Age by the time this castle goes up. So he's not going to prevent, unfortunately for Nope, he's not going to prevent Bender from getting to the next stage. Yeah, this castle is actually a very bad castle. Because his opponent will just rebuild the town center, and be done with it. The castle does not secure any other resources. Now, if the castle were on the relics, he'd have a really good... Yeah, see, no, Bender's just going to come over here and be like, well, I didn't like that town center location anyway. So now what's Nope going to do? Is he going to build a town center over here? Is he going to build some war wagons? Some of the villagers are getting in the castle. Some of them are getting back in the transport ship. He's trying to fish, but Nope's archer army is whittling down his fishing ships. So Nope with not a lot of... I don't know. It looks like he does not have very much map control. His opponent has a big army. His opponent's running around. Now he's Korean, so he gets good defenses. He's got a guard tower here. And Bender deciding that he wants to destroy the guard tower. So he's going to build a siege workshop. Now, a fully garrisoned guard tower, I think requires like 3 or 4 mangonels to take down with like dedicated repair villagers. It's a whole step above a watchtower. And let's check and see here. Okay, so this guard tower has fletching, but it does not have bodkin yet. And so Nope seeing this siege workshop, I would have built that tower a little bit further forward, but it's okay, like right here-ish. This is okay. Because actually Bender is not making a mangonel from that tower yet. Nope is pretty strapped for resources. He is building a monastery. It could be his belief that this castle here will prevent his opponent from going for the relics. So now Bender is adding another town center, and another tower is coming up for Nope. And the tower is protected by the castle here. And I guess the goal is just to sort of zone off his opponent, take control of the stone on the map with these towers, and deny Bender resources. But so far it looks like Nope's resources are the ones that are denied. Nope is very broke. Let's see Bender's resources. He's not doing much better. He's not doing much better. I think this is kind of crazy here, though. I think this is just a disaster waiting to happen. I think that Nope should try to relocate these lumberjacks. He should just bite the bullet and build a tower right here on this wood line while Nope's army is out of position, and then take wood here. Because any second a mangonel is going to pop out of this siege workshop. Actually, we can watch it happen. Mangonel, uh-oh. These overly zealous villagers trying to get to the stone. Mangonel pops out, and it's going to shoot at the lumberjacks. Kills 2 instantly. Kills another one. There's 3 villagers down. And so Nope cannot take that wood anymore. See, Nope is distracted. He realizes he's under attack. Gonna have the villagers shank at the mangonel. Garrisons his tower. And he does manage to destroy the mangonel. And now these archers are taking fire, so they have to get out of there. I do think that even though Bender lost some military, it was basically a tower and an archer. It was a worthwhile exchange for him compared to Nope losing some villagers. Yeah, it looks like they're tower fighting here a little bit. Nope accidentally built this tower a little bit too close to the town center. And so Bender is garrisoned the town center and he's firing at the tower. I think it's almost worth repairing. I mean, look at the number of villagers that are idled at this point. It's 13 idle villagers, but I think he's going to let the tower go down. And he's going to move his stone miners over here, perhaps. But there's no safe place to take stone, really. He'd have to come over here and take this stone. He's got a little bit of stone left on this mine. What happened to all of his lumberjacks? Maybe these guys are going to be lumberjacks. That's their caste within Nope's society. I think this is, yeah, I think Nope's going to build a lumber camp right here. Meanwhile, Bender building a mangonel. He's going to build another mangonel. He's going to continue to siege this area. And he has denied both of these minerals. So, you know, even though he's got a lot of army that's sitting there, and you know, it doesn't look like it's doing anything, what it's doing is keeping Nope from coming here and coming here. Does he need this much of it? No. And it's somewhat telling that Nope has done a good job of denying resources because, oh no, Nope, watch out. Alright, that villager goes down. And these villagers are retasked. Now, I think Nope is going to try to get these relics. Yeah, okay, so Nope is over here. Bender has caught wind of that. No, he has not. He has not discovered it. He could easily relocate this army over here. But he may not see it. Now, he sees that Nope is building a tower here. So maybe he's kind of thinking about that. This is a pretty annoying tower. This tower could actually be shanked down by villagers once it goes up. Unless there's another tower, which there isn't. So you always try to build your towers within range. And he relocates and he misses it. His opponent's taking wood here and it's not even secure. So now Bender has to build another lumber camp, which is pretty annoying. Does he have a market? No, he doesn't have a market. Actually, he could be taking wood here. I'm not sure why he's not. And he's not taking wood here either. There's no tower here. Looks like Bender just fought something. A little frazzled though. So he's got to drop off his wood and then build another lumber camp. But he's also repairing something which costs wood. Oh, it was the tower. He wants to get this tower down. Alright, he's coming over here to deny this gold. He's got 6 range on these, so they should be able to pick away at these villagers. Nope coming forward to shank the mangonel, but Nope's defensive tower goes down. Not that it was really doing much anymore. This tower is the one that he needs. And so now this mangonel is going to roll into range. I think that Bender should just focus on the villagers on gold. I don't think he should waste time on the guard tower. You know, if he could kill 3 or 4 villagers... Uh-oh. Draw back. Alright, now Bender needs to come and defend the mangonel. Looks like that's what he's doing. Meanwhile, they're fighting over here, too. This has been a very chaotic game. Actually, I'm rather enjoying this. Bender has a very narrow window in which he can take stone here. He's actually saving up stone for a castle. And I think he will probably try to build a castle like right here or something to secure both this stone and this gold. And there's also oh, okay, it's war wagons. The war wagons are what is distracting Bender from taking these resources. Although Bender is on this stone over here. But tower rushes tend to be very effective on maps where there are not a lot of resource piles. If there are a lot of resource piles, then you just go and take resources somewhere else. You don't worry about being pushed off of a resource. But when there aren't that many, each one is pretty critical. So you need them. And having a tower on it that's got a ton of health and a lot of attack, it's hard to deal with. Alright, luckily, I don't know how Bender still has the score lead. Let's take a look at the villager count. Bender with 27 villagers and Nope with 30. And that includes, I guess, a fishing ship or 2. And Bender's over here taking this stone as well, because Nope is just building towers everywhere. A dystopic Korean nightmare. This is what every person that plays against the Koreans fears, as Nope builds a town center on this location to secure a good wood line. Good wood line access. Alright, so it looks like this tower is going down. And Bender, having seen that Nope has abandoned this tower, he just comes right through. And Nope collecting all of these relics. And it doesn't look like he's going to go back to this monastery, though. Oh, okay. He's built a new monastery here. And he's going to drop off the last of these three more relics. So he's going to get all of the relics. Okay, it's actually a lot of relics. It's 4 plus 3, so it's 7 relics total. This map was made by Magico and I. We worked together on it. I did the basic stuff of it, and then Magico fleshed out all of the choices, like the resources and such, and the forest sizes and that sort of thing. Alright, so Nope building a tower here on top of Bender's lumber camp. Now Bender has to leave. He will probably come around this way and build another lumber camp over here. Let's see. Bender's got more than enough stone for a castle drop. but Bender's going to build this town center instead. Which I think he should build a castle somewhere. He should make a stand somewhere, right? He shouldn't let Nope continue to tower everywhere. Crocodile comes and gets that big charge attack on a villager. It's got two of them, actually, fighting Crocs. Crikey. Alright, Bender is he bringing his military home? Oh, it doesn't look like it. He'll see that Nope has a relic victory timer, right? So he needs to do something to prevent that. He knows where the monastery is. If you're Bender, you see, oh, this is the monastery. And he hops out, surprise! Kills 3 monks, and then hops back in the transport ship. And, I don't know where they're going. So he just goes and takes some free monk kills. And, Nope is actually the score lead now. It makes sense. I mean, the relics in the castle give him a good score boost. Maybe Bender's kind of, I don't want to say his win condition, but he could play a card, may have a card up his sleeve where he loads 30 villagers into this transport ship, and he transports right here, and he drops a castle right on top of this monastery. But instead, he doesn't see that happening. Even though he's got the stone for it, I would at least try it. So he calls the GG. What a crazy game. That was a lot of fun to cast. What's the final villager count? 14 villagers final for Bender. That's, because these came here. Well, that hurts. That hurts. I think he had the stone to build a castle for a while. I'm not sure why he didn't, but Nope, demonstrating the power of the Koreans on this map. It looked like he was done for. He lost a lot of free villagers to Bender's military, but he was able to make a comeback. Let's take a look at the statistics. So Nope with 34 kills, 30 deaths. A lot of these are Bender's villagers, though. Bender destroyed 8 buildings and lost 3. Largest army of 21. He had a bunch of Mayan archers. Nope collected more food and wood. Bender collected more stone and gold. Okay, Bender. Faster to the feudal age. Nope, faster to the castle age. Anything else? 7 relics for Nope, and he had 1,000 relic gold in that time. Built 1 castle. It was really good for Nope. When you have low villager numbers, it's good to add the number of relics to the number of villagers you have. Because it's essentially the same thing. Alright, now we're going to look at them playing moats. Let's load the replay. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so Nope 1585 is playing as the Cyan Cumans, and he is at 3 o'clock. And Bender GC is playing as the Blue Khmers, and he is at 8 o'clock, I would say. Moats, what is it? This map was made by a friend of mine, Zetnus, for Alchemy League Season 7. We decided to really lean heavily into the whole concept of the moat here, right? To make something that looks like a castle. So we got some bridges, we got some walls, we got some undockable water here, some shrubbery along the edge of the moat. The moat might have an occasional, it's got an occasional shorefish here or there. It's not really a big source of resources. Actually, the players start pretty close together. Let's talk about it. Cumans are popular on this map because the Cumans can build a second town center in the feudal age, unlike most civilizations. So you have great defenses here, right? You've got some stone, you've got some gold, you've got some forage bushes, etc., etc., etc. You've got some nice stuff, right? But there is one big problem about your starting base. And what is that problem? Well, there's no wood, There's like 4 trees over here, 5 trees over here, a few stragglers around the town center. But if you don't secure wood early on, I mean, you could build a lumber camp on this, but it's pretty awful. If you don't secure wood early on, you are through on this map. This map is all about a fight for wood, similar to the original ES map, really, except the original ES map didn't look anywhere near as pretty as this. So Nope going to come out, and he's not even going to bother with these small forests within the safety of his walls. He is going to focus on the forests outside of the base, as most players would. But it looks like Bender has not built a lumber camp yet. I think, but Bender's still chopping stragglers, which is interesting. Maybe Bender's got a different strategy in mind. Oh, look at this. Bender has taken a boar from far away. He's going to use his scout to slow the boar down slightly. The villager takes a hit, but she's in. And he's got an extra boar to work with. This will help Bender in case he wants to fast castle. Which I think he might. I think he might. Yeah, looking at this, we can't really tell what Bender's strategy is, but the fact that he doesn't have a lumber camp yet is a little bit, I don't want to say unsettling, but it's unusual. It shows us he's got some unusual plan here. Maybe he's going out to build the lumber camp now, but these look like hunters, so it looks like he's going for the chickens. Yeah, he's going for the chickens. Meanwhile, Nope, I think with a little bit more traditional of an approach. Generally, we see players like try to palisade wall off to the edge of the map here. And I think Nope has a decent opportunity to do so. He could build a palisade wall here, a palisade wall here, and a palisade wall here. And for what? Between 100 and 150 wood, he could have this area completely secured. We don't often see feudal aggression work on this map, but sometimes somebody will go archers or scouts or something. But this map is kind of like our arena for the season. Every season of Alchemy League's got to have an arena style map, and it's got to maybe this is not an official rule or anything, but it's got to have something that's a little bit different. And we've seen when you give players starting stone walls, they can surprise you with all kinds of crazy strategies and builds. And whoever would have predicted, with Arena that the meta would be monks? I don't think the devs ever would have predicted that when they were designing the original Age of Kings maps. That Arena would turn into monks, that people would figure out that that was the best unit to make on that map, that they would be the meta. And I really think it still is. I think that all other things, you can't really open on Arena. Same with this map. I mean, this map has a little bit more openness to it. You might be rewarded, more similar to Fortress in that sense. You might be rewarded if you make scouts or something and you can intercept your opponent trying to greedily and sneakily boom out here. But for the most part, especially on Arena where you don't have those other areas and map control in the center of the map, it's all about map control. And I know this because I specialize in Arena when I do play ranked. If you can control that area of the map, you can make fights happen that you can win that you shouldn't normally be able to win. You can play against units that are supposed to be countering you. If you've got all the map and your map control and your opponent has limited space to farm, they've got limited space to build production buildings. If you can really limit your opponent's area that they control, you can make stuff happen on Arena that should not normally be able to happen. And maybe that's what Bender plans here. I see that he's on gold now, and he's built a forward lumber camp. So this is aggression. I see this as an aggressive lumber camp. Bender clearly is out for Nope's blood. He wants revenge after those awful Korean towers last game. Those awful, awful Korean towers. Bender almost to the feudal age himself. Nope has already gotten there. So Nope's feudal age time is indicative of a human feudal boom. If we go over to Nope's population, yeah, it's like a 20 pop. Feudal age, which is common for the humans. He should really button up everything, though. He's walled here. I wonder if Nope doesn't realize that this is open. Yeah, he doesn't know. He assumes it's closed. He must be assuming it's closed. Otherwise, he would send something here to plug that up. So Bender might punish that. We'll see. The other thing to remember, too, is that even though this is a forward lumber camp, as the Khmer, Bender can garrison villagers and houses. So Khmer villagers actually carry around the keys to these little houses and can go inside during a battle if they want to hide. They're the only civilization that does that. Everybody else locked out of the house. Villagers can't go into the house. Animals can't go into the house. Well, animals shouldn't be able to go into the house either way. It's kind of filthy. Military units can't go into the house in either case, but if you're the Khmer, your villagers can go inside of a house. Now, I mean, they can't stay there forever. You know what? So what? They go inside the house, and then enemy unit just destroys the house, and the villagers are vulnerable, right? But to give your military time to get there and defend the house, it's extremely useful. Alright, so here comes Bender. Let's check Bender's point of view. Bender is actually going to discover that this is open before Nope does. And I think that that's actually quite significant. So Bender finds a way into his opponent's town. Now, I don't know, Nope might question how this scout got in here. Nope is not paying attention yet. Sends this villager home. Alright, he sees it. Shoots at the scout. Villager gonna fight the scout a little bit. Force the scout to go away. But surely Nope is questioning how this scout got in here, because he just saw him out here. Their scouts just passed. But maybe he's not questioning it. Maybe he's okay with it. Maybe it's totally cool. Just like, yeah, if your scout's in here, okay, yeah, Nope knows. He figured it out. It's like, that probably shouldn't be in here. So the upside for Nope is that, oh, what? Does this look wild to you? This looks wild to me. And somehow the scout slips out the other side. Ooh, that is not good at all. Alright, so Nope buttons this up. But apparently there's a hole in here. And we can't see it, but Bender somehow found it. So Bender is not going to tell anybody about that. Nope trying to pick off a villager, but does not succeed. Nope has a big villager lead over Bender. But Bender's Castle Age. And he's the Khmer's. So what's he going to do with it? Not exactly sure. He's going to win a scout fight. That's the first thing he's going to do with it. And then he's going to build a town center. Boring. Come on, you know that your opponent's open. Build some stables or something. Run in here. Kill some villagers. There's no way you can catch up to the Cumans. They are booming. They are pro at booming. It's like farming simulator for them. Look at this. Nope has a sprawling farm here. Alright, well, so Bender has chosen to build a second town center. And I don't see anything else from Bender. Now, the other thing about the Khmer that can make their fast castles so fast is that they don't require any of the prerequisite buildings. So you'll see that there's no market. Yeah, Bender's built a third town center as well. There's no market. There's no blacksmith. Bender does not need any of that. It's a special bonus of the Khmer. The people declared that they do not mind becoming more technologically advanced. They will store all of their research and their books on the floor, on the ground. They don't have to put it in any buildings. Alright, well, I guess we're just going to keep an eye on the villager counter and see what happens. Nope is 13 villagers ahead of Bender. But we'll have to monitor whether or not that number grows or shrinks. Maybe Bender's just like, oh, I'm just so tired from the last game. All those towers fatigues me. I just want to boom up this game. I just want to play chill. Maybe they're both like, let's just play chill. Last game was really, 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 really exhausting. So let's just play like we're 800 elo, except for the booming part, which we're actually going to accomplish successfully. We're going to boom up to 120 villagers, and then we're just going to build a bunch of production buildings, and we're going to set the gather point in the enemy town, and we're just going to mash all the production key buttons, and whoever has the best mixture wins. I like those kinds of games, actually. It actually can be very refreshing to play that way. But I'm not very good at playing that way. Or maybe I am very good at playing that way because I always lose to people that micro freaking conquistadors and other random Mangudai and other units that are just super annoying to deal with. So so Nope's got a... Maybe he knows that there's a hole here, or maybe he's just kind of double walling, not sure. He's got to mark it. Maybe he's thinking about clicking up to the next stage. Bender 49 villagers now to Nope's 52. Is Nope headed up to the castle age, though? He is. So that's why Bender's catching up, because Nope only has one town center working to create villagers. And actually, somewhat strangely, Nope has chosen to go castle age in this town center. Even though it's less secure, his opponent could literally drop a castle right here at any time. But I guess Nope feels like this is the more secure town center to do it from. So Bender's actually pulled ahead of Nope in villager count now. Bender doing the Khmer Super Boom. And don't tell me this is another town center. Is this another town center? What are they waiting for? Let's check Bender's point of view. He doesn't quite have enough wood. I think he wanted to build one, but he had a bunch of farm reseeds come up, so he couldn't build it. Had to go send the villagers to do something else. And Nope has built another scout, and that scout picks off Bender's scout. And now, Nope loses the scout. So where's Nope's stable? Ooh. I like this castle. This is a good aggressive castle for Nope. Allows him to put some pressure on Bender. So the way the Cumans work out is they can actually kind of do like a fast imp. Based on how their economy is set up, based on the fact that these villagers were working earlier. But now Bender is ahead in villagers. And Nope has made a step lancer to help him raid his enemy. Castle firing upon the lumberjacks, only managing to kill one. And then I guess Nope just sends his people home. He could make the Kipchaks, and he could go for the Kipchaks. Bender going to build another town center. He was going to do that anyway. And that's what this Step Lancer's been looking for. I wonder if Nope is going to see it. I actually don't think Nope spotted that. No, he did. Alright, so he sees it, and he sends the Step Lancer back to interfere with it. To pick off some villagers. He's got a Kipchak coming. This Kipchak should really be coming down here to try to shut down this town center. And he gets a few free villager pickoffs. Now the Step Lancer needs to get out of there. Dies. So he traded his life for the life of about 3 villagers. And Nope realizing that he's got some options here. His opponent has economy in this location, but the Kipchaks are very fragile. So you got to be careful with them. But Kipchaks and Rams could be a compelling army composition. If the Rams are in front of the Kipchaks, they can absorb skirmisher javelins. And Nope building an outpost here to monitor whether or not his opponent comes in this area. So he's going to build a siege workshop, and he's building a university. A university probably for ballistics. And the siege workshop probably for rams. The Cumans, they love their rams. So Bender working on some knights. Is Nope really thinking about going up to the Imperial Age? He's got a lot of food saved up. I think he's going to go up to Imp. He might even sell the stone to do it. Go up to Imp. I don't know what Imp gets him. He doesn't really need trebuchets. He's not fighting a competing castle. Bender hopping inside of this house. If it were any other civ, that would be a lot of dead villagers. I don't know. I think he needs more rams, and he needs more Kipchaks. His opponent is just saving up some knights, and I don't know what Nope's understanding is. Yeah, he doesn't know about these stables here. So he does not know that his opponent actually does have a response that he is cultivating. Bender does have the score lead, though. Alright, the knights are coming to pick a fight with the Kipchaks. The Kipchaks run off. So now Nope is going to see these knights. He's going to know that he's got to do something. Oh! As luck would have it, Nope is going to get something out of Imperial Age. His opponent is building a castle here. That'll shut down an advance. But Nope, being an Imperial Age, is going to be able to make trebuchets. And this castle is basically going to be finished by the time that Nope gets there. So Bender building this not knowing Nope is on his way up. And now we got a ram here. So probably what will happen is this ram will roll underneath the town center, and then the knights will just kill it. And the Kipchaks might fire upon it, but if they move within range of this town center, then the villagers will garrison, and the Kipchaks will just be killed. So yeah, that ram basically dying for free. One knight got a little bit hurt out of the process. But he's not really ready for a proper ram push. Maybe if you had multiple rams working at the same time. Second armor coming in for the knights. See, here I was thinking that Bender was going to do some crazy ballista elephant push. Oh no, Nope, pay attention. Nope needs a few monks here. This ballista elephant will wreck these Kipchaks. I thought that Bender was going to cut through with a ballista elephant or something and run back here with a bunch of light cabs. But it looks like Nope is the aggressor this time. Nope with 78 villagers to Bender's 104. Discovers the castle. I would not be surprised to see a trebuchet. Yep, there's the trebuchet queue. So he's like, well, alright, better remove that. Trebuchet very effective against enemy fortifications. Ooh. Nope, dropping a castle here. I think he must have seen these villagers approach with this outpost as Bender was coming over here. Bender may have wanted to build I think Bender wanted to build an annoying tower or something like that on some of Nope's resources. And Nope built this castle to defend it instead, and some villagers got mowed down. And probably saw it because of this outpost here. And so Bender's going to build the castle here instead. Actually, maybe it was a castle, because it happened shortly before this castle foundation was placed. Alright, so Bender on his way up to the Imperial Age. And I think these knights are going to die of the trebuchet. And I think that Bender needs more step lancers. He needs to concentrate all of his military here. The knights are going to get the trebuchet. But actually, and they're going to go for the other trebuchet too. Bender buying himself some time. These knights will die, though. I think. So Cumans do not get Bracer. So this is as dangerous as regular Kipchaks can be, pretty much. They have all their upgrades. They just don't have the elite upgrade. So I think Nope could have walled in the trebuchet, but that is an annoying setback for him. Losing 2 trebuchets like that, and now is not the time to send these away. I guess he's going to go for a raid. He's got a trebuchet working on this up here. Okay. Well, he might consider rolling his trebuchet back then. But he's moved his Kipchaks in, and Bender's sending the knights to defend. The knights don't really have a good surround opportunity. There's buildings on either side. Deletes the mining camp. But Nope chooses not to go that way, and these knights are just going to go snipe a different trebuchet instead. But they're going to run into some light cabs. Now, knights generally clean up light cav pretty effectively, but the light cav have the support of some Kipchaks. And the knights also have an objective, which is to snipe siege weapons. And now that the siege weapons are down, the knights run away, what's left of them. And only 3 make it back alive, with lower than average health. And Bender has to repair that castle. And Nope just used his trebuchet to destroy this town center here, but I think he could actually justify rolling forward and attacking this castle now. And just making more trebuchets and continuing to pressure his opponent. Both of these castles from Bender are standing. But they're burning. And Bender is making... He just got the Cavalier upgrade. I know Nope doesn't want to, but I think Halb would be very appropriate. Because nothing will really stop these Cavaliers without it. Now, Nope... Okay, Nope does not... I think Nope is starting to see this because his Trebuchet shows him that there are... Yeah, he sees the Cavaliers here, so he packs up the Trebuchet with the hope to bring it home. And this castle is under attack. I don't know what Nope is doing. Oh, he's back here with a light cav raid. I don't know if the game is mature enough for that yet. His opponent destroys his castle. With the castle gone, there's no defense for these trebuchets. He can't even bring this trebuchet home, because it'll open the gate and let the knights in. So Nope building a new castle here within his walls, and he's focusing his attack on this castle here, and he is going to get it. But he really needs Halb. They're fighting over a relatively small area, and these Cavaliers are just too well armored to really be taken down by Kipchak. Nope trying to snipe this castle, but Bender is on to him. He's got some Cavaliers with a surround and takes out the Trebuchet. Now it's time for Bender to make a counterattack. Trebuchets against Trebuchets. Nope knows that these Trebuchets are going to go down. They've been jumped by Bender's Cavaliers, and so he gets a counterfire here, but he does not manage to destroy his opponent's Trebuchet. It remains alive. One of them does. So Nope trying to repair this. This is all an artifact of Nope not going into Halberdier sooner. You'd be amazed what tech switches can do for you. But he's known about these knights for a long time. He's known about his opponent's intent to create knights. But he still wanted to make the light cav and the step lancer and the Kipchak. He wanted to go Kipchak here, but I think it might be a little too late. He's got some light calves still. If he's lucky, he might be able to snipe this trebuchet with these light calves. Uh-oh. Alright, only one cavalier gets in, so that's not so bad. Trebuchet knocking at the door for Bender. And Nope refusing to open, at least for now. But I think Bender's in a pretty good position here. We got a flaming trebuchet rolling forward. Battle hardened. It'd be kind of a cool thing in Age of Empires if your units could get stronger from winning battles, like veterans. But that would make the game a lot more snowbally, which is not a good thing. We have to assume that the units that you create, you know, the upgrading from knight to cavalier, etc., that's training. It's part of the training, part of being a veteran. That's why they're more powerful. In addition to having fancier armor. Okay, it looks like Nope actually did manage to snipe that trebuchet, which is good for him. I don't know if he's going to be able to make Halb fast enough. He needs to build more houses. He's getting housed from castles being destroyed. Bender's got an all-gold army composition here, and Nope has no gold. There is a gold here, and it looks like he intends to take it. He secured this area. Not very secure. There's a cavalier destroying this university, which is kind of funny. Single cavalier. And with that university going down, Nope calls the GG. So that brings our set to a tie in Nope versus Bender. Let's take a look at the statistics. So Bender with 145 kills, 100 deaths. Nope actually destroyed more buildings, though. I think Nope had a premature Imperial Age, and he did not formulate a response to the Cavaliers until too late. Thus, Bender captured the game. Nope. Nope, more wood. Bender had more of every other resource. So Nope, better Feudal and Imperial Age time, no surprise. And Bender with better Castle Age time. Nope got 4 relics, Bender only got 2. Bender with a villager high of 135. So the next set is Leon versus Yo Soy Pacho. Let's see. No, not that. Here we go. So we're going to see him on Seasons and Graveyards. And the potential civilizations. Leon has the choice of Armenians, Georgians, and Lithuanians. And Yo Soy Pacho has the choice of Malay, Romans, or Portuguese. Alright, so the first map of their set, this is Seasons. This is the winter version. We've seen a lot of the winter version lately, actually. This Seasons map was made by Biscuits for Alchemy League Season 7. And it's kind of our mega random. And the big thing that's random about it is the river. The river could be doing all kinds of different things. It could be frozen over solid. It could have a single ice crossing. It could be all shallow, or it could be all just water. And you have to sail across to get to your opponent. So it's got all kinds of different options. This particular version is frozen. Again, it's always frozen. It's not very random. Maybe I'm just lucky. I don't know. I always pick the frozen version. So Leon is playing as the Blue Georgians. And Yo Soy Pacho is playing as the Purple Portuguese. That's kind of an interesting choice. Portuguese on this map. I don't think I've seen it before. Georgians are, of course, very strong right now because they start with the free mule cart. And he is using the mule cart as a scout right now. I brought it around and illuminated this area. Dang, what do you even do? I guess, I get the Georgians, right? It's a big open land map. This works out well for Georgians because it happens to be frozen. So there's more room to maneuver. If it were like... Actually, you know what? I bet Yo Soy Pacho is not very happy to see this frozen version, now that I'm thinking about it. Because, Portuguese are a great naval civilization. And, well, no naval opportunities here. You can't even dock. So... maybe Yo Soy Pacho picked the Portuguese because he was expecting to make all kinds of carracks and do Portuguese naval things. And he's been thwarted by the fact that it's frozen over. So that actually kind of makes it interesting. It'll force Yo Soy Pacho to adapt. Leon almost losing this villager to the boar. But he saves her. Kills the boar. It's a little distracted. Boar's somewhat outside of his town center, but nobody died, thankfully. Leon is close to 1900, actually. He's been with us for a while. He does well in Alchemy League. Generally, he doesn't win them all. Nobody, for the most part, nobody does. Yo Soy Pacho has also done well in Alchemy League. He's won a lot lately. From Colombia. Yo Soy Pacho has not quite been with us as long as Leon has. Looks like he's going to push in some deer. So let's see what the Portuguese bonuses are, and let's see if we can work into our understanding what he might do. I mean, the units cost less gold. The foragers generate more wood, or they generate wood at all. Their ships have extra health, and they get the Feitoria, which is great for resource generation. So, you know, if you were in a situation where this was like either a choke point that you were defending or it was completely water, you can build a bunch of Feitorias in the back and have infinite gold and stone, basically. So that is not really possible now that this is frozen over. So this is the worst possible generation for Portuguese, in my opinion. Their team bonus is technologies research 25% faster. Alright, so the Georgians are all about, you know, defense, and scroll over to them. They're all about economy with like defense with a fortified church, an added work rate, hill bonus, regenerating cavalry. They get a cavalry unique unit, Manaspa, which attacks in a more devastating manner when there are more of them. And they got a couple of technologies about cavalry taking up less pot space and defensive buildings being better. And their buildings require less in resources to repair. So I think that this version of the map is much better for Leon in terms of their civ choice. But you don't know, right? The map generates. You don't know what it's going to be. Oh! Leon not welcome here. Leon not welcome here. Yo Soy Pacho chasing him out. Alright, so Yo Soy Pacho, he secured some gold. He does not have stone here, so he's got to be a little bit careful. The stone is outside, but he's gonna fully wall up, play defensively, which I think is the right thing to do. He's gonna try to get this last deer in. I think he's gonna fast castle, but I don't think he's going for unique unit, because if he were, he would be trying to secure this stone somehow. Leon has not walled. Leon is, maybe he feels like he's the aggressor here. I don't know what this means. I would assume it's something about the feudal age, because he's now suddenly feudal age, and that went there. Leon uploading the Rex. He's from Hong Kong. Alright, so what's the play here? Archers. Okay, so Leon is going to try to get in with some archers. He's building an archery range. Maybe he can, like, mass outside of the walls, prevent the villagers from walling, break in. Seems to be what he's thinking about. He knows where his opponent is. He's on gold. He's sending another out to gold with his mule cart. He's actually got quite a few mule carts here. He's got 3 mule carts. Seems like a lot. And let's see. And he's just trying to get in. So meanwhile, Yo Soy Pacho, let's take a look at Yo Soy Pacho's villager count. He's also on 23 villagers. Leon coming forward with some villagers. Is he going to build a tower? I'd love to see him build a tower like right here or something. Right here. Coming forward with an archer. And there's the tower. This is a let me in tower. I disagree with this tower's location. I think this is very too aggressive, very obvious about his intentions. But he's on stone. So Leon, I guess he's going to build more towers. He's going to have archers helping out with the tower rush. And he delays the barracks a little bit. Yo Soy Pacho sending the whole town to build the barracks. And we got another archer coming up. The barracks is finished. He's got to build a blacksmith now. This tower will go up. The archers can garrison within the tower. But, oh, actually, Yo Soy Pacho picking off an archer. That's a good find here. Leon sending the scout back to find the other scout and stop it, but doesn't find it, so he's just going to kind of cover the reinforcements, I guess. Leon trying to get in. Leon knows, right? Leon has scouted this map. He's pretty sure. I mean, he doesn't know what's in here, and he doesn't know what's in here, but he knows that he doesn't have any stone in that area. So his opponent is probably not going to have any stone either. He also knows that each player gets 2 stones, and the 4-tile stone is outside. It's further away than the 5-tile stone, and here's the 5-tile stone. So he's reasonably sure that his opponent does not have access to stone inside of these walls. So Yosoi Pacho building a backup wall here. But this is why Leon feels so bold in doing this, is because he's pretty sure that his opponent doesn't have the stone to counter this tower rush by the Georgians. You know, so he's actually playing offensively with fortifications instead of defensively. And Leon might try to go for churches if he makes it to the Castle Age. Meanwhile, Yosoi Pacho is on his way up to the Castle Age. It's Portuguese. And he's forced a wall behind here as well. Is Yosoi Pacho... I don't think he spent any of his stone yet. No, he hasn't spent any of his stone. He doesn't want to spend any stone. He's saving it for another town center. And aggression tends to work on Alchemy League maps. They're sort of evaluated to the effectiveness of various strategies and such. It's part of our quality process. Our usual quality process, I should say. So Leon's going to wall in this tower. And, I mean, Yosoi Pacho still has some walls at the base of this tower. Oh, and he's chiseled his way through this other palisade wall here, too. Now, Yosoi Pacho has walled behind as well, and he's going to go for the mill. The mill has more health, actually. Oh, but it's only slightly more health. And it has more melee armor than the house. The house has the same pierce armor as the mill. He's going to build this tower, and he's going to force Yosoi Pacho to build a wall here. Because he's decided he doesn't want to pressure this over here. And I think Leon's understanding of... his understanding of Yosoi Pacho's base is a little bit better. Yosoi Pacho, first thing he's going to do is build a siege workshop, and then he's going to build a town center, which makes sense. So basically, Leon going for a tower rush, which is actually kind of surprising. I was not expecting him to tower rush on this map. But he may have seen it and may have said, hey, you know, my opponent, the only thing he probably has close to him is a gold. Everything else is far away. You know, all of Yosoi Pacho's other minerals are out here. So he doesn't have access to it. This gold is his only hope. Alright, Yosoi Pacho deleting a wall segment. He's going to come out here and look for a place to expand his economy. Now, luckily for him, there are no archers here to block this. Because if they were here, you know, these villagers would all be dead. Leon, he's kind of playing with fire here. He's trying to get this watchtower up. And Yosoi Pacho getting a solid hit. I think that's a sign for Leon. He needs to... Nope, he's going to keep trying. He's going to keep trying. This is a very, very dangerous... He's lost 2 villagers now. Surely it's time to give up on the tower. Now, luckily for Leon, he is on his way up to the Castle Age. But he lost 2 villagers trying to get this tower up, which is unfortunate for him, but it's a good win for Yosoi Pacho. This tower has some archers garrisoned in it. I think that this tower should have garrisoned archers. Seems like he could use the extra firepower. But the tower is going to go down. But the mill is also taking a lot of damage, too. And actually, that's Yosoi Pacho's only mill. And it's down to 7 hit points. So it's actually kind of lucky for Yosoi Pacho that this mill was not destroyed, because then he would have to rebuild a mill just so that he could have a farm reseed. Alright, Leon hits the Castle Age. Now what? Builds a house here for some vision. Scout Cavalry takes a whack to the head with some rocks. Yosoi Pacho building a 4th mangonel. He's heavily invested in mangonels. He saw towers, he saw archers, so it makes a lot of sense. And now he's going to button this up again. He's not going to push his luck. He knows that Leon is in the castle age. What's Leon doing now? He's building a fortified church and he's making some monks. And he's going to go for the relics. Alright, relic time it is. And let's see. Yosoi Pacho with 49 villagers to Leon's 40. Remember that Leon lost a couple of villagers in a tower rush. But Yosoi Pacho fought it off even if the front of his base is somewhat burning. He's built a monastery because he wants these relics. Let's see. So Leon's got 1 monk out, and I don't see any other monks. I don't see any other monks. So actually, Yosoi Pacho might be able to get a relic if Leon is not careful. Are these mangonels going to come out here? No, I don't think so. Because I think that would invite Leon to make a knight or two. Or some fast unit to snipe these mangonels. Alright, Leon coming over here to see what Yosoi Pacho has going on. But these archers should be able to prevent the monks from getting any hits. Oh my goodness, never mind. Archers just all deleted by a good attack ground from Yosoi Pacho. Leon not paying attention. I bet we could see that on the timeline if we looked. Alright, so then who knows who's going to get these relics. With those archers dead, it is entirely possible for Yosoi Pacho to come back. It's entirely possible for him to come back. And get all these relics. Or many of these relics, I should say. So Leon has captured 1 relic. He's got another one that's he's going to get. He has knights out on this relic here. He definitely wants the relics. Does not want his opponent getting these relics. Yosoi Pacho is going to send somebody for these relics. Oh! So this could be a conversion here if Leon is not careful. What's going to happen? Oh, he sees it. So unfortunately for Yosoi Pacho, that relic does not move very far forward. So that's going to tell Leon that he needs to send more stuff here, because he knows that his opponent is going to converge on this location. He might be content with letting his opponent have that relic, though. Two monks. He deletes those knights. Where are his other knights? They're over here. There's no relic over there. So Yosoi Pacho manages to pick up that 1 relic. And I think Leon's just going to have to go for this one. I don't think he can get that relic now at this point. Actually, he doesn't know. He hasn't really scouted the river. But the relics are all tied to the river in some way. Let's see what Yosoi Pacho's scouting is like. It's probably better. Yeah, he knows about this relic here. So Leon has 2 knights, and he's got 3 knights and 2 scout cavalry. He should be able to get this relic. Don't think Yosoi Pacho has enough. He's just got 2 monks. And Leon is looking for relics. Oops. And let's see. View lock off. Okay, yeah, he sees the monk. Snipes it, and then he's going to be able to get this final relic. And I think that's all the relics now. Yep. So the result is that Leon has gotten 4 relics out of that tower rush, and Yosoi Pacho did manage to pick up 1 relic to prevent Leon from securing a relic victory. But long term, Yosoi Pacho probably cannot afford to let Leon have 4 relics, especially because this opponent is a very solid opponent. He's got 150 elo on him, according to our book. So what happens now? Well, there's all kinds of fortified churches here that Leon has built to improve the strength of his boom. He's basically booming behind this and getting relics. He has not gone for Castle Age aggression. He's not gone for Castle Age aggression. He just wants to get caught up in villagers. But Yosoi Pacho's boom has been better than his. But he's also gotten more relics, so it's kind of a trade-off. Light Cav here on the prowl. Knights coming in looking for some damage. Now Yosoi Pacho has built a castle here. There's a monastery, but there aren't any relics in it. And Leon can see that, so he's not as interested in that monastery. And he has some monks to heal the knights. Yosoi Pacho stonewalling this area. It's pretty smart, right? I mean, why not? It's cost you like, what, less than 50 stone? And for that, you can keep your opponent's military generally out of this location. So it's definitely worth it. So if you're Leon, yeah, I guess you kind of have a little vision here. You can see that your opponent, that's funny, he repaired his mill. This mill was down to 7 hit points, but Yosoi Pacho repaired it, which is really funny. Even though he's got another one out here. He must have repaired it before he built the other mill. Alright, Leon has got a castle here. I don't know about this castle. I would prefer to see a castle on a hill, like Yosoi Pacho's. But this one, the castle is closer to the gold, so it protects the gold better. And that's probably why he built it there. Nobody ever really goes for the fish in the center, unfortunately. It's kind of a dead area. We haven't seen it. It's not enough food here, I guess, relative to the rest of the map to justify it. Yosoi Pacho is nearly to the Imperial Age. He survived a tower rush. He managed to pick up a relic to prevent his opponent from winning a relic victory. Can Yosoi Pacho get an upset against a very hard opponent? Destroying Leon's house. Alright, Leon gets the notification that Yosoi Pacho is now in the Imperial Age. Got a raiding party. But Yosoi Pacho's base is pretty well defended. The knights are coming around looking for an opportunity, but there's a castle here, so they're just going to destroy this university instead. Actually, I don't think Leon knows about... Yeah, he doesn't know about the castle. Oh, this is a lucky find, though. I don't know if these knights can take this, especially because Leon's not paying attention. So he just loses like 3 knights to these mangonels. Yosoi Pacho and his mangonel micro. And the knights all get mowed down by organ guns eventually. So Leon is on his way up to the Imperial Age himself. He's boomed up to 115 villagers. Yosoi Pacho with 140. Stonewalling off this area and building a castle here, securing all of his resources. And Leon is basically doing the same. This castle here, though, is a recipe for disaster. His opponent's Imperial Age, and Portuguese are better at range than Georgians are. So, all that, and, you know, the castle is already built. So, all that Yosoi Pacho has to do, and I think you can see this. No, he can't. If he knew that this were there, if one of these organ guns rolls forward just a little bit and reveals the castle foundation or monk or something, he'll start queuing trebuchets immediately. Yep, sees it now. So now he sees that, and there's the trebuchet. Here comes another one. I mean, he was queuing for this castle anyway, but now he's got 2 targets. Leon deciding to pick a fight here. I'm not exactly sure about that. I guess it goes well for him. He's going to win it. The monks go down to the mangonel micro, and more knights are coming in and jumping the mangonels, and they are now cavaliers. And he is actually going to wipe out the siege there, which is a good win for him. He has to withdraw, and he doesn't get the trebuchets, but he got everything else. He got the organ guns, and he got the monks, and he got the mangonels. So now Yosoi Pacho with his OP mangonel micro is no more in this location. But he's got to repair this castle and keep this castle. The good news is it costs fewer resources, but there's overwhelming trebuchets here. He's not really interested in trying to snipe these trebuchets. I think that's a mistake. I know there's a lot of pikemen here, but this castle could still be alive if he sniped this. But he wanted to come up here, Leon did, and see if he could raid, kill some enemy villagers. And now these are halberdiers, and they're pretty untouchable. I don't know what the Georgians do against halberdiers. They probably just make more cavalry. Yosoi Pacho misclicking these trebuchets forward loses 2 of them. Yeah, probably Georgians just get pop-capped and then not care. That would be my guess, because they're somewhat of a broken civ. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that doesn't work and in reality, and the Georgians have to do something different against a counter unit, as it should be. Alright, so Leon looking for a way into Yosoi Pacho's base. He's coming here and he's going to tear down this house and this university pretty quickly. And Yosoi Pacho buttoning up this area here. He's actually pausing to destroy the university, so Yosoi Pacho cannot get masonry. Leon has a trebuchet working in defense of his castle. I don't think this trebuchet is sufficient. I wouldn't be... Yeah, I would rush this with my halb if I were Yosoi Pacho as well. There's too much health here for the castle to dispatch. But now, Leon's like, aha, you've activated my trap card. And he rushes in with some light cav. So, some trebuchets die because the armies trade sides. Leon gets hussar. But the pikemen are very, very, very toxic against cavalry. And they do kill them. Okay, alright, it's hand cannons. It's hand cannons from Leon. So we see that the Georgians get hand cannons. That is their answer when enemy halbs get out of control. And so what's Yosoi Pacho going to do about hand cannons? You can't really beat hand cannons once you get like a large enough number of them. You can't beat them with pikemen. There's just like no number of pikemen that you can make against 20 or so hand cannons that will win. It's just not possible. You could have 1,000,000 pikemen going up against 20 hand cannons and they would just never win. Particularly if there was like one monk in the center of those hand cannons, which usually there's somebody out there trying to heal things. Alright, Yosoi Pacho trying to get this castle. But I think he needs to withdraw this hand cannon, or this trebuchet, and just get back. Enemy army presence in this area is too large, it's too dangerous. But he has a raid in the back of his base. The Georgians sending some cavaliers. Yosoi Pacho's going to have to withdraw his troops, or pull his troops back to defend this. This is a very solid raiding party. Yosoi Pacho also building a defensive castle here. Let's take a look at the population count. Leon is at 190 out of 200, and Yosoi Pacho's at 149. Yosoi Pacho queuing up. He's queuing up the piano cannons, the organ guns, and he's queuing up halberdier. And he's slowly being trebbed, but actually he's not being pressured too hard because it's just one trebuchet, and another is now unpacking. So as long as he can get the raids under control, he'll be okay. But he definitely has been hit hard by these raids. They're slowing him down. And these stone walls helped, but they're not everywhere, and they probably need to be everywhere. Because his opponent is, you know, the 1900 player. So he's very good at controlling his army. Getting maximum devastation. Alright, so Yosoi Pacho has stabilized it. Well, okay, there's still a raid going on back here. But there are no more villagers dying. He is finally sending things back there to address this. And the castle is going to take some hits, but I think he's going to be able to fight off these trebuchets and keep the castle alive. Looks like Leon has built a new castle here. And he's going to park this trebuchet underneath that castle. It'll be a little bit safer there. A lot of organ guns. So we got hand cannons and cavaliers versus organ guns and pikemen. Those are basically the choice unit composition. While organ gun and pikemen, my instinct is that organ gun and pikemen wins. Because it's slower. And for equal, all of the things being equal, for equal gold cost, the slower army that costs the same amount of gold will win. Because why would you ever make a slower army if it didn't win, right? Why would you trade away that mobility for nothing in return? Leon seeing the stone wall here, he's a little frustrated by it, attacks it. Alright, yeah, Yosoi Pacho should try to repair this. This is a good castle for him. This castle's helped him out a lot. It's microing the organ guns, the halber fighting. It's just super annoying dealing with the Georgians. And you know, you see this is like close to 200 pop. It really is 200 pop. Like if we switch to Leon's point of view, he's pop capped. The reason that he's not exactly at 200 pop is because units are dying as fast as they can be made. Like he is being restricted. The units are dying constantly. But it's actually more than 200 pop because I believe that Leon has gotten the unique technology which allows his cavalry to take up less population space. Let's check. Yep, he's gotten it. He hasn't gotten Savan Towers, but he's gotten Asnari cavalry. So it's actually more than that. It's a little bit more. I don't want to say it's 15% more, because not all of his army is cavalry, but it's significant. Now he needs to wall this off with stone walls. Oh, Yosoi Pacho calling the GG. Leon taking the win here in the first game, getting the majority of the relics, had a very disruptive tower rush, slowed down Yosoi Pacho's plan. Yosoi Pacho was probably not intending to play, did not intend for this generation, this form of the map when he picked Portuguese, but that's how fate would deal that. Sometimes you gotta adapt to the randomness. So Leon with more kills than deaths, more buildings destroyed than lost, but a slightly smaller army, 52 versus 55. So Leon collecting more food, stone, and gold. Yosoi Pacho collecting more wood. Leon with better feudal age time. Yosoi Pacho with better castle and imp times. Relics captured. 4 for Leon. We saw that. And Yosoi Pacho with more castles. Would it have been different if Yosoi Pacho had better walled? I don't know. Maybe. I guess we'll never really know. So the second game that they played is on Graveyards. Graveyards was made by Jasuki for Alchemy League. It's kind of a take. It's got his own little spin here. You got these plateaux with some cemeteries around a religious site. Maybe a few relics next to it. Every once in a while there's a relic. Otherwise the players kind of start in these little valleys. And there's a small pond in the center with lots of fish. And what's Leon doing? He's scouting out the pond. Oops. So he knows that the pond is there. He knows there's fish there. So he's probably going to want to go over there eventually. little help from some water buffaloes scouting out. Let's see here. Let's talk about the civilizations a little bit. So, Yosoi Pacho is playing as the Malay, which is a fantastic choice. Malay are a very good civilization. Are they the best? No. Because only one civilization can be Byzantines, and that is the Byzantines. But Malay are scary because they advance very quickly. You know, they can see that you're up and be there shortly afterward. Technology advantage is less significant for the Malay because even though they click up later, they're not as far behind as they should be. They've got good water options. They've got good monks. They can use their advancement to Malay boom a little bit and build a few extra villagers. Here comes Leon forward. Leon is playing as the Lithuanians. The Lithuanians have a good economy, right? They start with a little bit of extra food. They've got solid cavalry. Leon really showing us in the last game that he loves his cavalry options. And Yosoi Pacho coming forward around the same time. Leon's scouts find this. Now, Yosoi Pacho does not have loom yet. Leon does not have loom either. So they do fight a little bit, but they are both going to be able to build their dock as intended. So Leon, unfortunately for Leon, Yosoi Pacho was paying attention, and he sent his scout forward to keep that villager safe. Guys, this is Alchemy League. You can't afford to screw around like that. You cannot afford to screw around like that. Your opponent will punish you if you make a mistake. There's some, we put people up against some pretty strong opponents, but not too strong. We do have that handicap system in place, but we do believe that people should be challenged. Now, as the league grows and we get more and more signups, naturally the skill gap between those signups will decrease, and the league, in a way, will be a little bit less challenging. But it'll also be a little bit more comfortable to play in. Right now, it's kind of, I think it's a little on the hard side for some people, and so I think a growth of the league by a little bit will at least help out. But, as the league grows, one of the things that we will consider about is, like, how do we match people up with a little bit more challenging of an opponent? It's hard to say exactly. So, Leon with a skill disadvantage here. It looks like Yosoi Pacho got the hill. Uh-oh, he's got to pay attention. He's just going to take health at this point. Fight behind the tree so it's not clear who has the hill. And this scout can afford to take 2 hits from a villager before dying, because the villagers deal 3 damage. So Leon loses his scout. Yosoi Pacho has his scout. What do these civs do against each other? Well, Malay have a very compelling fast Imperial Arbalester push. They got the funny Malay elephants that are super cheap. You guys know all about that. They have excellent monks. They've got excellent navy. It's really, I think they've got those two-handed swordsman guys that cost only food in the Imperial Age if it gets there. There's all kinds of options for the Malay. The Lithuanians, I've seen high-level people do archers and stuff as the Lithuanians. I personally don't really see that. I don't understand the attraction of archers, but Lithuanians have excellent monks as well. They have excellent cavalry. Their cavalry benefit from relics, so they get more attack as they collect more and more relics. So they're both good civs. I think the Malay have more options. The Malay have those Karambit warriors. Now those things are really funny. They only take up half a population space, if you can believe that. Only half a population space. So theoretically, you could have 400 Karambit warriors running around a map. And the thing about the Karambit warriors is that their strength is actually the fact that they suck. Because of the fact that they suck, they have very little health. They're not particularly good. They basically lose to anything that's not a Karambit warrior or a skirmisher in a 1v1 fight, essentially. But what makes them good is overkill. Like, you could have a huge army, right? Especially a ranged army of archers or something. And they fire into a single Karambit warrior, and it's like enough to kill 50 Karambit warriors. But it's just a waste of time and it takes forever because they all fire at the same one. They don't calculate how many are needed to kill any one Karambit warrior, and then they distribute, that firepower across Karambit warriors. They all just shoot at the same one. So that's what can make them really good against like castles and stuff, and a ball of archers. Now are they, they're still infantry. Like they're not amazing, but they're not as bad as you would think. And if they're supported by other stuff, they can be quite dangerous. So Leon is contesting water against Yosoi Pacho. He needs to attack the low HP galley. All right, there he goes. He does that, and he sent forward a repair villager. So now he's got a villager repairing his fire galley, and Yosoi Pacho is continuing to try and lure this fire galley away from the shoreline so the villager can't repair it, and now he's got to withdraw. Too much micro, I think, for Leon. I don't know if he wants to contest water. He doesn't have any fish left. Yosoi Pacho taking the oysters, actually. He's not taking the fish. And Leon is housed, so he's going to throw up a couple houses. And he wants to go scouts anyway. But Yosoi Pacho is a big believer in walling. So Yosoi Pacho might actually be fully walled. Fully walled by the time Leon gets here. We'll see if there's a hole in the wall. If there is, Leon will find it. Leon continuing to make some ships. We got a fire galley in this dock and a fire galley in this dock. But this is, I think this map, the meta on this map is kind of like, get out here, get a position on the lake, contest water as best you can, but wall up and then boom behind it. It seems like most of the people who are successful in this map, that's what we see them do. Oh, and there is a hole. A hole between these peach blossoms. So now Leon is in. Luckily for Yosoi Pacho, he's got a scout here now. I think he's going to be... He sees this hole. Scouts are in on it. Scout's got a few hits on this spearman. And I think he should just finish the spearman off at this point. Because Yosoi Pacho, he's going to come and patch that. There's the wall. But Leon pulls out, and the scout rush does no damage. I think Leon has kind of aborted the scout rush. Looks like he had another fight here. He ejected the ships, and Yosoi Pacho has invested massively in water. I almost think it's worth tower rushing this. I would love to see somebody tower rush this. Maybe Ola Dushek already did that, and I just need to cast it. Leon throwing down a bunch of farms, and I think he's just going to try to get to the castle age. He might make some archers in the meantime. Try to get in with some archers and do some damage, but, it's tough. This map is relatively easy to wall. Alright, so Yosoi Pacho, having cleared enemy docks, has little to fear now. And he could probably expand his water economy if he wanted to. Let's check his point of view and see if that's what he's doing. Yeah, he's making more fishing ships. So he knows now that his opponent is okay with him having the water. So therefore he's going to expand his presence on water. Water is surprisingly important on this map. I actually think it's, personally, for my taste, I think there's too much water. But I think that about pretty much any map that has water. I think water is too important on it. It'd be different if Age of Empires didn't have such a rock, paper, scissors military arrangement on water, but it is what it is what it is. Really what it should be is it should be the way that it actually was in the Middle Ages, where it was just like, okay, yeah, we got a bunch of ships, and I stole this ship from a fisherman, and I stole this ship from a merchant, and because I'm the king and I can do that, and I put a bunch of dudes on it, so we're just going to go and ram the enemy ship and then jump onto it and attack it. Like it should be that the ship adopts the properties of whatever units are garrisoned in it. So no transport ships, But every ship is in a way a transport ship. Even fishing ships, become like a villager inside of the ship. Garrisons in it and can take fish that way. Wouldn't that be interesting if every fishing ship required a single villager to merge with it in order to be able to take oysters and fish and that sort of thing? Now that would be quite the twist, huh? It would basically mean that you couldn't get a villager lead by building a dock. You could make ships and you could get a different food source, and maybe a safer food source. Because the ship is less likely to get raided by enemy armies. But, yeah, it should be more about the identity of the unit that's garrisoned in it, and the ship is just sort of there to support it. And maybe you could have different models, like different ships get different amounts of units that they can take on. Some of them are slightly faster, whatever, But anyway, that's my idea. That's never going to happen. But I think it's awesome. Oh, Leon managing to get in. You guys got me rambling about my vision for water in Age of Empires. So Leon manages to get in. He's got a scout. He's gone some archers. Yosoi Pacho has built 3 ranges, though. And he's building another town center. And so these 3 ranges are going to be useful for making archers of his own, or skirmishers. Or maybe a combination of both. He's getting crossbowmen. So Leon's not really going to get in that way. He's too far behind. He's just not here in time. Now, the good news for Leon is that he's on his way up to the Castle Age. So, he's going to be able to match the technology of his opponent pretty soon. But Lithuanians are not really known for their archers. That's not what they do. So the archers can help get map control, take some relics. Leon does not want to fight these crossbowmen. These crossbowmen with 7 range. They get the scout. Leon headed back. Argalis. It's a type of sheep. Yosoi Pacho focusing on the oysters. Alright, so what's Leon's plan? He's going to build a tower to defend against these archers. I think that's a smart move. He's got a couple of archery ranges here. He needs to garrison in the tower now. Yosoi Pacho is dangerously close to... Alright, he just picked off a villager. Leon withdrawing, not really paying attention to that, even though he just built the tower. The tower needs another range upgrade. He is in Castle Age, so he can get it. He's going to get the university so that he can get ballistics. But Yosoi Pacho, there's a hole in the wall. And here comes Yosoi Pacho with a very daring maneuver. Now, he will be able to whittle down this house eventually, but this gives Leon some time. So he's going to destroy this house foundation and probably walk back here. Leon building a siege workshop of his own. And what do these Malay crossbows do? They're actually going to withdraw. They're going to leave the way that they came, most of them. Maybe a couple fall. He's got 8. He went in with 10. So he decides not to risk it. I think he could have gotten a lot of damage back here. But he may not have realized that his opponent is on one town center only. Yeah, in fact, for all he knows, there's another town center right here. So that's probably why he didn't go back. I'm just like, it's 10 archers, Let's get some villagers. But he plays cautiously because it's a league game. You got to play cautiously. He could also just camp the outside of this wood line right here. He's going to come back. Gets a villager pick off, 2 villager, 3 villager, 4 villager. I think ballistics is in for him now. That's why he left, to give himself time to get ballistics. And now the rest of these archers are going to die. But I think it was well worth it. I think he got, what, 3 villagers from that? Now Leon is over here pressuring the front of Yosoi Pacho's base. Yosoi Pacho trying to sneak back with this relic. He's got 15 crossbows here. He's got a scorpion rolling forward. Leon with only 12 crossbows. Coming forward through the woods. I think I think Leon needs to shut this down. I think he has the crossbows to do it. He's got the siege to do it. But instead he's going to engage Yosoi Pacho's army. He's actually got 2 armies here. 14 and 11, so he technically outnumbers him if they fight together. Mangonel rolling forward. These crossbows are a little difficult to see, you know, next to the peach tree blossom. So now, having combined his armies, that is a fantastic attack ground. But he does not get a second attack in, which is unfortunate for him. But he does a lot of health damage. Yeah, doesn't really want to fight this Scorpion. Scorpions actually have better pierce armor than Mangonels do. So they're harder to take down from a ball of archers. But they also do less damage to a ball of archers. But they last longer. So it's a trade-off. Yosoi Pacho has gone with the Scorpions. And Leon went with the Mangonel. Check villager count. Yosoi Pacho with 94 to Leon's 52. He's got a 3-town center boom. And he's got a 2-dock boom. And Leon only has a single town center. So he really needs to make things happen pretty soon. Otherwise, Yosoi Pacho is just going to outboom him and crush him. Now is his moment of opportunity. Alright, good attack ground from Leon. We got a forward villager here. What is this? Yosoi Pacho almost in the position for a castle. He's lost. He's got 2 Scorpions left. Where's his... He sent his army around this way to pick off some unsuspecting villagers on a wood line, which could be pretty devastating. Leon is moving forward. He's building a forward siege workshop. Yosoi Pacho is about to launch an ambush. And given that he already has a villager advantage over Leon, this is a devastating attack. He had already sent some archers this way. Leon's going to crush that. So Yosoi Pacho has 100 villagers to Leon's 50. Leon can't catch up, recognizes that his opponent has been booming, and sees that Yosoi Pacho is in the Imperial Age, so he calls the GG. So Yosoi Pacho with 50 kills, 50 losses. So that's about equal. Raised 3 buildings. Slightly larger army, 48 to 34. Way bigger economy. More food, wood, stone, and gold collected, I think, as a result of all those oystering ships. Better advancement times across the board, which is not surprising from the Malay. And he captured 2 relics, villager high of 100. So GG, well played. We got to see Bender versus Nope, and we got to see Yosoi Pacho versus Leon. I really appreciate anybody that's tuned in to the stream and done so very quietly. I haven't seen much in chat, but this may not be a great time for everybody. But nevertheless, the record is on, and so people will watch that after we finish the recording. So thanks so much to the folks that got this far. I think I'm going to do one more stream for Alchemy League Season 7, and then we're on to Alchemy League Season 8. So stay tuned, because we got some really awesome content planned. Thank you so much, and we'll see you later.